Ah, excellent. Jolly good. Jolly good. Now, I don't know whether to start or not because I've got no idea whether you can actually hear me yet. I don't know. I mean, I know there's a delay, but on my screen, until it pops up on my screen, I'm never 100% certain. So talk amongst yourselves for a few seconds more. Oh, I'll just get my comfort blanket. Oh, there you are. Hello, darlings. And a very warm welcome to not just any Thursday Night Live, but the winter solstice. The winter solstice, indeed. Pardon me, I'm just checking. Right, I need to tell. Yeah, I'll tell you about this in a minute. Uh, just need to check. Oh, well, there we are. So, right, let's start again. Good evening, darlings, and a very warm welcome to Thursday Night Live. It's nothing less than a sheer orgasmic joy to be with you, and a very happy Alban Arthur to you. It is, of course, the winter solstice. Historically, the day of celebration during the winter period. Long before Christmas and all of that modern nonsense came about, because it is, of course, the shortest day and the longest night. In other words, as from tomorrow, the days start getting longer and our spirits will lift. There will be light at the end of the tunnel and spring will be on the horizon, albeit quite a far distant horizon. I mean, we've got January, February, and March to get through. Well, March I count as spring. 1st of March, St. David's Day, daffodils, all of that. So first of all, we've just got to get over the minor hurdles of Christmas and New Year, and then we've just got to get through January and February and the weather that will no doubt come along with it. And then, hey, we're laughing. It's spring. We can make all sorts of plans for next year and execute them. And I don't mean chop the heads off. Good evening, Jimmy Quinn. Thank you very much for joining us. Bum. Good evening, Joe. Good evening, Barry. Cheeseburger. Good evening to you. Did you find the sound poor on Mustard's Live today? Well, I wasn't there for long. I don't know what anybody else did. I mean, I find many things poor about Mustard's Live. I mean, the camera's always in the wrong orientation for a start. The light's terrible. The sound, I didn't, no, I mean, serious answer. The bit that I watched, I didn't find the sound particularly bad, to be honest. He does good numbers, doesn't he? He had 50 odd today. Gosh, must be great to be popular. I'll probably never find out. Neil's here. Hello, how are we today? How are you today, Neil, after your after your late and somewhat disappointing night? Hope you're okay. Bad Books is here, Mark. Good evening, all. Cheeseburger, with his normal tact and diplomacy, says, "Hi, Neil. Are you now the Terminator rather than the Gibbonator?" Jimmy F500, Jimmy F Cinquecento. The lovely jolly J Snake, aka Mr. Boaty, sir, is here. I am. Sound was fine, says Bad Books. Happy Christmas to you all, says Barry. This is the last live stream before the holiday. Yeah, I suppose it is, isn't it? In theory. God, I'd be tempted to do at least one live at lunchtime over the weekend, maybe on Christmas Eve, maybe on the Sunday, a little cheeky live at lunchtime. And I'd be cheeky to, and I'd equally be tempted to do a cheeky midnight gang, but on the other channel, on the singles channel, and do that maybe Saturday night or Sunday night. What do you think? But yeah, the next scheduled live stream will be Monday Night Live, which will, of course, be Christmas Day Live. And yeah, I am going to do a live on Christmas Day, as I did last year, so that, any of you that might happen to be on your own, you don't have to be lonely. By which I really mean me. I'll be on my own and I won't have to be lonely because some of you will be kind enough to join me and raise a glass. And that will probably go from, I'm not sure what time I'm going to get back from the restaurant, but I'm going to aim for, I'd like to run it for a while, bit low key, but run it for a while so that a fair few people get a chance to just pop in. I'm sure you're all going to be busy enjoying yourselves, but I thought excuse me, that was a wine burp and a wine hiccup. Oh, quell it. I thought if I kind of ran it from 9 till midnight, something like that, and just kept it fairly low key and relaxed, people could just dip in and out. So at least you can say Happy Christmas to each other and just have a quick 5-minute catch up. So that'll be the plan for Christmas Day. Honourable Pigeon says, "Hello, Boaty. How the hell are you?" Well, it's kind of you to ask, Honourable Pigeon, and I'm awfully well. Oh, what? Neil says, "It has been terminated, Cheesy. He left on the truck today." You're kidding, Neil. You haven't actually sent it for scrap. Surely. Not the first day after. The morning after. Sure, no, surely not. You'd have taken all the bits off oh God, I always forget the name of you. Ruby. Goodbye, Ruby Tuesday. I purchased some emergency sausages today, and I'm not going to tell you about them. You're going to have to watch tomorrow's daily. Fucking hell! You can tell it's Thursday. Like on a Monday, I'm all fresh, and my words come out neatly and crisply. Well, relatively, as neatly and crispy, as neatly and crisply as they can come out when you don't have the requisite number of teeth to form the words with. But by the time Thursday comes around, I'm just a shambling wreck of a prison. I was going to call myself a presenter then. What a pretentious bit of bollocks. I'm a fat old bloke sitting in front of an old iPhone with some people taking pity on me and watching and probably mentally throwing throwing custard pies at me. Bear with. Oh, you legend, Neil. Oh, well, that could be worse. Neil's just pinged me. And if you don't count the time and love and effort he's put in, then he hasn't had his trousers taken down too badly in terms of cost. He's nicked some of the best bits off it. And yeah, the car has gone. He doesn't mess about, our Neil, does he? If only Mustard would learn the lesson off him and do that to Fred the Shed. But, oh, bless you. Oh, the back box. I assume it will fit, Neil. I assume it's is it the same back box? Oh, I don't know. Will it be the same? Not sure. We'll find out, no doubt. Oh, hello, Andrew's here. I've a spotty butty. Well, hello, Boaty and everyone. Hello to you. Oh, brilliant. Excellent. Oh, well. Oh, thank you, Neil. I'm really touched. That'll be a lovely addition to Stigbit. Been drinking, Barry? Asked Cheeseburger. Um, Andrew missed Mustard's live. Um, the live sound was fine on the replay, says Mark. John is with us, the lovely John Stoodley. And Neil's telling you what happened. He took a few bits and pieces off it, the dash, a couple of other things, not massive amounts, and got 590 quid for it. So, could be worse. Mark says, we don't talk about scrapping rovers on Mustard's channel. No, but he bloody well ought to. God, all of those dreadful old heaps lying around the yard, getting in the way, making his life miserable. Barmy, I don't understand it. I mean, why be poor and have all of those heaps taking up space? Why not get rid of them, get nicer cars in that work and that are saleable, and quickly work on them, sell them. Just do the old Chops Garage, High Peak Auto, Allegro, man. Just do the same as everybody else. Everybody does it for a reason. It works. Get the car in, get whatever work needs doing to it, put it on sale, sell it, move on to the next one. Instead of that, cars come in and they just lie about for ages. Look at that 623. I sold that 4 months ago. It still hasn't been in for its MOT. Bloody hell. I just personally don't get it. It's not the way I would do things, but there we are. We're all different, and takes all sorts to make the world go round. Mustard sounded like he was in a thunderstorm. Christmas Day here, says Andrew, will be a wet one. 20 to 25 mil of rain predicted. Well, let's have a look at the old weather app, shall we? I've not looked to see what Christmas Day is going to be like. Hold on. BBC weather. Sign in. Why have we got to sign in? God, talk about Big Brother. Okay, Monday. Oh, it's going to be lovely and warm. It's going to be lovely and warm. Saturday is going to be 11 degrees. Christmas Eve is going to be 13 degrees. And Christmas Day is going to be 11 degrees. And it's going to piss it down all of those days. And then it gets colder, but not too cold, going down to 6 degrees on the following Friday and Saturday in a week's time. So that's not too bad. It's going to be a mild but moist Christmas, which isn't the worst. May your tempers be mild and may your turkeys be moist. Oh, there's a feature. What are you having for your main meal on Christmas Day? That's it. That is the feature. What are you having? Be interesting to see who goes traditional, who goes contemporary. Christmas. Oh, somebody has just done a nice thing. Who did that? Jimmy Quinn. Thank you so much. Jimmy Quinn, bless him, has sent me a £4.99 super chat and says, Happy Christmas, Boaty. And thank you, Jimmy, and very best wishes to you and yours as well. I really appreciate that. I especially appreciate that because if you listen to any YouTuber, especially Hubbard, he goes on about this a lot, then December is like the worst month for ad revenue on YouTube. And November's not much better. And it's a really poor time, apparently. Of course, it's the first time at this time of year that I've been properly monetized. And as you guys know, it's not like I earn much. But my little revenue is definitely very, very noticeably down. So the odd super chat that's come along is very, very welcome indeed. So thank you, Jimmy, and Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to you. Bless you. That's really sweet. Diddly do. Mark Prasad, good evening, sir, and all here. Right, now, before I go on any further, I will just mention that there's been a lot of chatting going on today away from YouTube. Earlier today, I set up a WhatsApp community. Now, I don't normally use WhatsApp very much, if at all, only because I can only use it on my portable electric telephone. And look at the size of my pet, my portable electric telephone, and look at the size of my hands, right? I struggle to use it. So I tend to use things that I can do on my iPad. I find it a lot easier, which is why I don't tend to use WhatsApp. But I set up a community. Not sure how, because I don't really understand it. So it's like a WhatsApp community thing, and then you have different chats or groups, as they're called, within it. There's only two at the moment. There's an announcement one that comes as standard, where I, as the whatever I am, admin or whatever they call you, apparently I'm supposed to make announcements for whatever reason. I don't know. What do you want me to announce? I've just broken wind violently. Or I feel slightly horny this morning. I don't know. But then I added a general chat thing. So it just occurred to me that there are community members who don't use Facebook. Or even if they do use it, they don't use it habitually. So they're not going, and that means they probably don't use Messenger so much either. So they're not going to see our Facebook group and all of that thing. And that's a bit kind of excludes them a bit, doesn't it? So I thought if I set up a WhatsApp thing, then, there's like a community chat facility interaction thing, and it's there permanently 24/7. So I've set that up. There's only a handful of people in at the moment. I think there are 7 people in at the moment, but I only set it up today. So if you would like to be included in that, then either try and find it yourself. I don't know how you do that. It's Boaty's World, predictably. Or ping me a WhatsApp-y thing, phone number-y type of chap, and I'll send you an invitation, and you can join in. And if you've got any suggestions for specific other chats, like, I don't know, community meetups, I don't know, sharing links to favorite pornographic videos, I don't know, any suggestions at all, just give me a shout and I'll do it. But yeah, Cheeseburger is on there, John is on there, Neil is on there, Joe's on there, I'm on there, my mate Craig, who's now in Northern Ireland, big rover nut, he's on there, and at least one other person who I can't remember. Yeah, but I do need, well, you either need to apply. I don't know if you can do a search on WhatsApp. I don't know how it works, but any of the people who are already in Canada. So I don't know. I mean, if you want to join in, let me know, and we'll sort. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands here. Yes, and Mark is here. Mark Prasad. Good evening, sir, and all here. Good evening to you, Mark. Neil says, please do. I can't stand Christmas Eve unless I'm pissed as a fart. So what did I say I'd do on Christmas Eve? Oh, I said I'd do a live at lunchtime and maybe a Midnight Gang live on the other channel. I mean, Christmas Eve, well, it's Sunday, isn't it? So, so it'll just be Sunday. I'll go to work. I'll come home. And then it's Christmas Day, isn't it? I can't go mad on Christmas Eve night. So it's going to be, a relatively early start for me on Christmas Day. Obviously, normally I'll get to the restaurant for 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock if it's a quiet prep night. Christmas Day, I probably need to be there at 11, something like that. Maybe even earlier than that. So I can't go mad on Christmas Eve, but it would be nice to do something. I'll pop in on Christmas Day, Boaty, says Jimmy Quinn. Brilliant, thank you. Oh, cheeseburger. Video title, Driving Home for Christmas? Neil isn't. Oh dear. Neil says, cheeseburger. I've still got my van, the Dolly, that's his Triumph Dolomite, and the ZTT. Oh, good. I'm glad, John. John's just pinged me to say that he's enjoyed chatting on the WhatsApp group. So that's brilliant. We had you in mind when I set it up. So that's good. As well as my motorbike, says Neil. I didn't know you had motorbikes. Boaty, says Jimmy. If I win the lottery on Saturday, I will send you to Turkey to have new teeth. Bless you, Jimmy. I wouldn't say no to that. I wouldn't say no to that. You know, I got chatting. I hope she'll come onto a live stream sometime soon. I got chatting with a very good friend that I hadn't spoken to for a little while for one reason and another. And we had a bit of a catch up the other day, and that was lovely. And I hope she'll come onto a live because she's a friend that she and I used to go on holidays together. We used to go to Malta together, and we've got some amazing stories that I probably haven't told you. She will, and she'll tell you them warts and all. She'll tell you exactly what went on. Why am I telling you about Fran? Oh, yeah, because I mentioned to her that as soon as I become rich and famous, I'm straight off to Turkey to get some new teeth. And she said, oh, I wouldn't do that. I said, have you heard the horror stories? Have you heard the... And I thought, bloody hell, looking in the mirror every morning is a sodding horror story. I'll take my chances. Don't you worry about that. I will take my... So yes, Jimmy, thank you. I would accept that offer very gladly. So everybody keep your fingers and your legs crossed that Jimmy wins the lottery on Saturday and I get some new natters. If all goes to plan, says John, I will be up to the Yard of Dreams in the new year, hopefully with Neil, to meet you and Mustard on a Monday. Well, it would be fabulous to meet you, John. Absolutely fabulous to meet you. So I hope all does indeed go according to plan. We'll have a nice lunch in good old Roger Boaty. Tricia Alderman is with us. Right now, Mitch, good evening, everyone. Hello, my lovely. Dreadful old heaps in Mustard's yard, says Cheeseburger. You bought most of them. I didn't. Right, I can tell you the cars I'm responsible for, specifically. I am responsible for the 623, which is a fabulous car, and which I love dearly. And I've actually got a plan for the 623, because the person I sold the 623 to, has somebody done a nice thing? Oh, Mark has gifted a membership. Mark, you're incredibly kind, sir. I will catch up with that in a minute and see who got it. The 623. Now, the chap I sold it to, I can't tell you who it is, but a couple of you know. I've just had to avoid their phone calls, to be honest, because it's really hideously embarrassing that they bought a car 4 months ago. It needs an MOT and one simple repair doing, and it just hasn't been done. So I'm really embarrassed about that. So I've just avoided their phone calls. It might cost me a friendship, but I think we can fairly safely assume that the sale is off, which means that poor car is just going to sit there for a year. Well, I don't want it to do that. I think that's a fabulous car. Really, genuinely a fabulous car. I loved it very much indeed. So, my plan with the 623 is in the new year, I'm going to book it in for an MOT at my local garage. Um, and that means that I can then legally drive it from the yard to over here, get it into my local garage, and just get them to do it. It'll be done in a day. It'll be done in a day, and then it's done, sorted, and it can either be sold, or I'd be very tempted to keep it and get rid of one of mine. I know it's the wrong colour, but the first thing Mustard said when I drove it, he said, "You belong in that car. You really belong in that car. It's absolute." And I felt as if I belonged in it when I drove it as well. But it doesn't deserve to be just stuck in the yard for ever and a day until until something happens. So yeah, that's the plan for that in the new year. The other cars that I'm personally responsible for are Fanny Freestyle, Melanie Mingebag, um, that might be it. That might be it. And the others came about either because the people approached us, or Mustard went after them. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's for a number of reasons. I wouldn't have bought those cars. I wouldn't have bought Fred the Shed in a million years. I wouldn't have bought Dented Doris. I wouldn't have bought whatever that other one is called, the IXL. Not because they don't deserve to be saved or anything like that. And in theory, I'm in favour of saving them, but Mustard is only one man, and there's only so much he can do, and it's the middle of winter, and he won't farm them out to anybody else. Now, my idea, being an old school car dealer, was we'd get the cars in, we'd buy them, we'd get them off to a local mechanic, um, any work, get them MOT'd, get any work done that needed to be done, give them a service. Mustard could give it a spoodle, and then we'd flog them. But it's kind of not working out like that. Because somewhat unfairly, Mustard bears the brunt of it in that he's there every day and dealing with them and whatnot. He does it in his own way, and we can't really question that because he is the one that's there every day. So we have to work at his pace. But he doesn't like working like that, does he? He likes things to go slowly and gradually and take their time. And he's used to things sitting there for 4 or 5 or 6 months or even a year before anything happens to them. And I can't bear that. So, I mean, I can't say anything about it because, like I say, it's his yard. He looks after them. He does the work and whatnot. So we just work at his pace and go along with him. So if he says, "I want to buy this car," we buy that car. But a lot of them I wouldn't have bought just because. I mean, I wouldn't have bought the Golf. I wouldn't have bought Fred the Shed. I would just, you know, I would have bought nice ones, got them sorted relatively quickly, and got them back out. I mean, if not sold, at least on sale and ready to go. I mean, it's balmy to have a lovely car like the 623 and just let it sit in a yard for 5 months. Um, I don't get it, but then there you go. Oh, that's nice. I can't be with you, says Carlos. I'm in the pub getting wankered. Fair play to you. Um, is Carlos ever sober? Asked Cheeseburger. Well, that's a good question, isn't it? I mean, there is a bit of a zeitgeist going on there, isn't there? Um, have any cars sold recently? It's becoming a bit of a road retirement home down in the yard. No, they haven't, because they're not ready to be sold, really. Um, it's a bad time of year. In fairness, it's a good time of year to buy cars, a bad time of year to sell them. But no, none have sold recently. Neil says it's a good title. At least he's not riding home on a tricycle for Christmas. Pigeon, says Cheeseburger. The yard is now known as Dignitas. I can't, I can't argue with that. It's I mean, in fairness, some cars do make it out of the yard, but they have to kind of serve their time there first, don't they? I mean, oh God, it's uh, I mean, it is what it is, and it's Mustard's thing. It's he does it the way he wants to do it. He gets content out of it. He makes his videos. He does what interests him, and he works at his own pace. And as I say, we can't really question that. Um, at the end of the day, the unknown banker is an entirely non-operational partner in the thing, and I'm almost that. I mean, I just rock up for half a day a week and bugger about and have lunch. So really, it's all it is all down to Mustard. So we just go at his pace, and whatever he wants to do and whatever he wants to buy is fine. And we just hope that we flog one every now and then. I mean, we can't be under any illusions that it's anything other than what it is. Traditional turkey lunch for Christmas at Shea Cheeseburger. Oh, okay, John. Brian has been in Mustard's yard how long? Good question, Bad Books. I checked this. Brian went into for his MOT at the beginning of May, and he failed his MOT on a slightly blowing exhaust and one suspension part. But that's what I'm saying. You can't rush these things. I'm in May, so June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So it's only been 7 or 8 months that he's been sitting there. And that's just the way things go. I mean, I've had the money to have him done. But, it just doesn't happen for whatever I mean, thank God Neil stepped in. And Neil is still stepping in, and he'll be stepping in again in January, bless him. But it's just the way things happen. And I mean, look at Sheeson. Sheeson was in the yard for almost a year. And all Sheeson needed was a brake caliper. And one of you guys, one of the community, kindly gave a brake caliper that was needed to fix him, and so he could have his MOT. They could have their MOT. It just took a year to get it sorted. But what can I say? Mustard's helping me out. It's so he's doing me a favour as a mate. So I can't say, well, hurry up, pull your finger out, Harry, because it's not like I'm paying him. I mean, I offered to pay for a mechanic, but apparently you can't get a mechanic. The guys next door don't seem to be after the work or whatever. So what can you do? What can you do? I mean, I won't. I mean, it is not. I mean, Mustard did say to me, he was joking, but he said, "Don't bring any more of your cars to the yard." And he said it in jest, but there probably is a bit of seriousness under there. We've got enough old sheds lying around there. We don't need any more of mine. I've got 2 cars coming up for MOT. Sheeson and Dicker Dum Dum are due for MOTs in the early part of January, and I'm just going to get them done down here because it's not fair to. Because if one of them fails on something small, it's going to be stuck in the yard again, and that's just not fair. So I think I'll get them MOT down here, and whatever work needs doing, I'll get the local boys to do them. I mean, I'm actually reasonably confident that well, I'm very confident that Dick Dum Dum will just go straight through, and I'm reasonably confident that Sheeson will go straight through. But we shall see. What's up? What's that? Asks Andrew. It's a thing. I don't know much about it either. Christmas dinner, says Jimmy, will be fillet steak, king prawns, crab claws, asparagus, pepper and brandy sauce with chips. Bloody hell. And Cheeseburger says, Jimmy, you Philistine. Gosh, well, I mean, why not? I mean, Christmas. Let's see. Left to my own devices, I would probably default to some sort of semi-Christmas lunch, at least a roast dinner. But given that it's a working day, then this Christmas, it'll be like last Christmas. I'll go to the restaurant. Lunch will be something eaten, something easy, eaten on the hoof during service. Whatever it is we happen to make. I think I had biryani. I think I had biryani last year. And then Christmas night will probably be curry, to be honest with you. I tend to eat curry most nights. There's always curry knocking about. It's absolutely beautiful. Why would you not eat it? Too many bloody social media accounts to follow, says Andrew. Is Boaty turning into one of these influencer type people? The WhatsApp thing is it's so that people can interact with each other. It's not about me. I won't be. It's for you lot because not everybody does Facebook, and a lot of people tend to use WhatsApp for a lot of things at the moment. All the government types do. I don't use it, or not very much. But it's been good today seeing. I mean, it's like cheeseburger. I mean, a lovely guy, master of shithousery, but a lovely guy, really funny, really caring, and a massive part of this community. I mean, he's one of the ones that rock up for pretty much every single live stream. Even when he was on holiday with his family in the States, he rocked up for the live stream. So a massive, massive integral part of the community and has been forever. But because he chooses not to do Facebook, and I can understand that, it means he gets excluded from the stuff outside of the live streams. And I didn't think that was entirely fair. So at least with WhatsApp, it can be inclusive for everybody. You don't have to use it. You don't have to be involved. Of course you don't. But it's just there as a community thing. And it's nothing to do with me posting this and saying, oh, look at me, or buy my merchandise that I still haven't managed to arrange, or anything like that. It's just about, a community area for you guys to interact. And it's been lovely. I've been working away tonight, and there have been soft pings in the background. And Cheeseburger and John have been having a good old chat, and it's really nice to see it. It warms my heart a bit. Neil asks, would we all be up for a group weekend session in Blackpool in the spring or summer? Oh, now there's a question. I struggle with weekends because of the restaurant situation, but obviously it's the obvious time for the rest of you. I mean, we'll have to try and do a little bit more next year. I loved the real thing when I did it with Joe and Neil and Sophie, and I enjoyed it when I did it on my own as well. So I think, yeah, it's a shame that I only get the Monday nights because Monday's obviously my day at the yard. But yeah, I'd love to do the Monday night thing. First Monday in every month, as I originally planned, should be a thing, an evening thing. When the, maybe more so when we hit spring and the nights start drawing in. But I'd love Monday nights to be a thing. I'd love to get down to my old stamping ground somewhere around Redditch, meet up with Cheeseburger, John, whoever else is down that way. I'd love to go right down south one Monday and meet up with Simone and Joe and all the real down south lot. I'm always happy to go to Rill. That's a good laugh, and you can't knock that hotel. I mean, what a cheap night at the seaside that is, and a free breakfast if you're as dishonest as I am. And a nice Chinese restaurant. I like that Chinese restaurant. So there are loads of possibilities, and that's something that you guys can chat about in the WhatsApp group. Maybe that should be a chat, community meetups. Have that as a separate chat. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'll sort that out because it'd be great to organise some get-togethers and to do it in a different way. I know all of the other channels do it. Mustard has his meet at the yard or at the motorway services. I know that Hubner, Ian, Matt, Steph, I know that they're doing a joint social and like that. But I like the fact that we do it somewhere different. They meet up in a field or a yard or a car park and stand around and look at each other's cars and make videos. And I like the fact that we go somewhere, eat really nice food, and get thoroughly pissed and do a live stream. That's my idea of a social. That's what I want to do with you guys, not arse about in a bloody car park somewhere. Meet up, have a nice meal together, and get thoroughly pissed. That's what socials are about, not standing in a field in Longbridge. Traditional Christmas dinner today at the Outlaws, says Mark. Well earned as I fixed, stroke bodged, her central heating today. Badly sludged radiators. Shitty, awful job. Oh, Christmas Eve. Yes, Cheeseburger. Christmas Eve, midnight mass with Reverend Boaty. Yeah, let's do that. Oh, yeah, that would be brilliant. Let's do a Boaty's World midnight mass. I love that idea. Look, I'm going to clutch my little tinkle with excitement. I love that idea. We will do that. Yes. I can't go mad with it because I have got an early start on Christmas morning, but we will do, yeah, we will do midnight mass on Christmas Eve. I'll tell you what, we'll do 11:30 till 12:30. Hey, how's that? So that we sing Christmas together. Oh, I'm all excited now. Well done, Cheeseburger. We wish you a merry podgering, says Barry, and Andrew adds with plenty of lube. Mr. Boaty's pottering lube, if you please. Video title. What type of turkey does Boaty want for Christmas? Teeth. It's funny because it's true. It's, oh, God. Now, because of the change of channel name some while ago and various other confusion, James, who we're obviously having lunch with on the 2nd of January, he said, and who is he again, this Boaty? Because he didn't, he had £500 cheap car challenge in his mind and probably my actual name, because when we've spoken by email, it's been Jason. Mustard said, oh, you know him, the guy that I do the videos with, the big guy with the teeth. And I thought, oh, fuck that, yeah. That's how everybody's going to know me, the guy with the teeth or without the teeth. And I mean, it is what it is. It can't be helped. But I wish I had the money to get it sorted. I really do. It's not particularly fun. Um, I mean, I'm not, God Almighty. It's not like I'm, what's the word? I can't remember the word. When you love yourself and all of that. I just hate the idea of being defined by the missing bloody teeth, especially as it's only money that's stopping it from being sorted. So, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll struggle on for another 12 months and hopefully I'll be in a better financial position to get something sorted. I need to get this bloody sorted as well. And there's no excuse for this. I mean, I know there are waiting lists on the NHS, but this just means me putting my my big boy's pants on and going to the doctors. I've got a phobia of doctors and hospitals and things like that because, well, maybe it's natural. I don't know. When your siblings go to the doctors or the hospital and end up being killed, you think, well, fuck that. I won't bother. Thank you very much. And I've had a few scary moments myself with healthcare professionals, which, if I'd allowed them to carry on with what they wanted to do, would have killed me. Fortunately, I knew to say no. But on the other hand, that was a long time ago now. And in my mind, it was only yesterday. And I'm sure that now, the condition that I have, I'm sure they're all over it. And there's probably virtually no increased risk at me having a procedure done. So there's no excuse for me not getting this sorted. And if my teeth aren't enough of an eyesore, this is even worse. So, well, it's not worse. Well, it's as bad. So maybe that should be my New Year's resolution. Get a doctor's appointment booked and at least get the second head growing on my head lopped off. I'm pretty sure it's something harmless, a cyst of some nature. And I'm assuming that on the basis that if it was anything more serious, something really nasty, like some kind of cancer or tumor or something like that, I'm assuming it would have killed me by now because I've had it a long time. So there we are. That's my New Year's thing. And maybe if I'm brave and go to the doctors and get this sorted, then maybe fate will look kindly upon me and somehow supply the money for me to get my teeth done as well. And then I can be all lovely and gorgeous again and and get get a nice lady on the firm. you know, maybe I could become a heartthrob like Hubner. Have my own calendar. Oh, did you watch? Let's have a bit of sports talk. Did you watch the Formula One driver's Secret Santa thing? I didn't know this. Valtteri Bottas, you know him, the used to race for Mercedes with Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas, he's released a calendar this year, and every month is just a shot of him with his arse out. He didn't strike me as that sort of chap. I think that's brilliant. And two of the drivers ended up with a Valtteri Bottas calendar, just multiple pictures of him with his arse out. Like there's one of him cooking in an apron, but with the apron on back to front. So it's got his arse out, all through the calendar. I thought that was brilliant. Oh, and the other bit of sports chat is, are any of you as excited about me about Saturday night and the boxing? I won't bang on about it in case you're not, but I'm very excited about that. I'll be listening to it on the radio because I don't have any of those subscription television thingies to actually watch it. But you can listen to it on the radio, on Radio 5 Live, free of charge. And the program starts at 9 o'clock. The program starts at 9 o'clock, and I will be. Excuse me. Oh, there you go. Right, thank you, Neil. Oh, and another little update from John. He's got the hospital appointment on the 3rd of January to discuss where he goes in regards to the options on the tumour, assuming and hoping that it hasn't got bigger. So, oh, God, it's going to be a busy couple of days. Lunch with James and then John's big appointment. It's all happening, isn't it? But yeah, I am excited about the boxing. I mean, the two big matches are, of course, Joshua against Wallin, and I've got a sneaky feeling Wallin is so relaxed, and look what he did to Fury. There could be an upset there. Joshua's got to be favourite, and depending on how his mindset is and how his training has gone with the new trainer, arguably a strong favourite, but there could be an upset there. And then you've got Deontay Wilder against Joe Parker, and Parker's no pushover, but then Wilder is just a fairly outlandish puncher. So yeah, it'll be interesting. It will be interesting. And and then roll on February in the undisputed with Fury and Usyk. I'd better crack on with these comments. Oh, the gifted membership. Who copped for that? Mark Prasad very kindly gifted a membership, which is exceedingly kind. Oh, and it went to Carlos Fandango, who's probably too drunk to realise that he's got it. Probably isn't even watching that. But he's a jolly nice chap who I am particular reason to be grateful to. So that's a good thing. Thank you, Mark. And well done, Carlos. Just a reminder, do make sure that you've got the thing toggled to on so that you can accept gifts. Excuse me. Bad Book says, having new teeth in Turkey, you're likely to get the full sex change operation instead. Well, roll with it. God, I'd be a sensationally unattractive woman, wouldn't I? But I could probably enter some sort of athletic competition and win it. And it's a while since I've been able to do that. I know, says Joe. Such a shame, as that person would be a fabulous new owner for the 623. And Neil says, that is a bit of you, Boaty. The 623 is a stunner. And Joe goes on, 623 is lovely. Shame for it to just sit around in the yard. Oh, yes, Joe's test. Cheeseburger was asking. Joe says he got 47 out of 50 and the pass was 40, so he passed with flying colours. And he's over the moon. His days of revision were all worth it. We knew you'd do it, Joe. We were with you. Neil says they need to be in for MOT, fixed MOT, fix the MOT items and up for sale all within a decent time frame. That's the way that I'd do it. But, what can you do? We kept asking about the 623 and Mustard said, well, I haven't had time to put it in for an MOT. You can't argue with that, really. The problem was the ABS sensor, and we got some help with that, and somebody said, "Yeah, I can sort this out. I know what it is. You just need to send me a picture of the sensor so that I can identify which Honda item it is, and it can be sorted." And that meant that Mustard had to take the wheel off again to get the picture, and he hasn't done it. And that was a month ago, 6 weeks ago. So what can I do? What can I do? I'm not there. I can't do it myself. And I can't have a go at Mustard for not doing it if he wants to do something else. Oh, who's done that? Oh, Ross, blimey, bless you. Our friend Ross, the lovely dinosaur dad, and a 50 Jack Lord, Hawaii 50, 50 Australian dollars super chat, Merry Crimbo Boaty. Bless your heart, sir. Thank you very much. Well, that'll buy a few bottles of wine. I think, I'm not an expert on the Australian dollar exchange rate. That's about 29 quid, isn't it? Bloody hell. Thank you very much. Ooh, I might treat myself to some bacon for my cooked breakfast. I'm thinking maybe a cooked breakfast on Boxing Day. I'm thinking of making a cooked breakfast a Tuesday thing. Because if I do a Monday night in a hotel, I have the cooked breakfast on a Tuesday. So I'm thinking of maybe make the cooked breakfast a permanent Tuesday treat. Although, having said that, and thank you again, Russ, I'm really, really grateful for that. Really appreciate it. I need to cut. I cut down on lunch today, and I need to cut down on all lunches. I'm getting so fat, so fat. Um, I'm having a lunch which is as big as my evening meal. That can't carry on, at least not every day. You know, Sunday roast, okay. And I used to mitigate that on a Sunday by just having noodles for Sunday supper. Maybe Wednesday midweek roast, and again mitigate the supper. But I can't just keep having big old fat lunches. And I've got to stop grazing at work. I'm just eating bits of. I'm getting so fat now that it's genuinely uncomfortable. I don't want to go into too much detail with you, darlings. And after I retired from the bike, I've never been what you would call slim. Um, but you know, you can be fat, but then you can be too fat. I'm 6'5", and I'm comfortable being about 13 and a half or 14 stone, something around there. Now, the battery went on my scales about 4 years ago, so I'm out of touch with what I weigh, which is probably a good job. But there are always ways that you can tell, aren't there? And I feel really uncomfortable with my weight at the moment. My shirt is a bit tight, my jacket is a bit tight, and the worst thing of all, and I apologise, Trisha and any other ladies, I apologise if I'm going into too much detail here, but I wear hipsters when it comes to underwear. So I don't wear your big old white fronts. I don't wear your skimpy skimpies. I wear hipsters. So they cut high here and they come up to the hip. And because I've got a big old roll of fat now, my hipsters over the past 4 weeks, I put them on and they just roll down over the flab. And that's awful. I can't be having that. So I need to. I mean, in summer I'll be a bit more active anyway. I need to get into the habit of walking a bit more, but I really need to look at my diet. I love my food, as you know, but I used to have a rule that you didn't eat any more for a meal than you could hold in one hand. And if you've looked at some of my lunches lately, I mean, supper. You need one decent meal a day: curry, rice, little bit of bread. That's fair enough. But my lunches have been excessive, and that needs to stop. That can be another New Year thing. Well, no, because I started today. So there you are. Uh, People are congratulating Joe on passing his test, and rightly so. Oh, Sarah joined us from Singles. Hello, Sarah. Cheeseburger says, Neil, those cars won't benefit from being left hanging around, and you need to turn them quickly to make a profit. Yeah, well, that's the idea. Diddly-do. Oh, yeah, so Joe's now on a waiting list for a place at his local depot. The UK stands with the Ukraine, and I certainly stand with Ukraine. The yard does appear inefficient in its operational output, just a bit. More hoarding, but I guess for mustard, it's a hobby before extra stress. Yeah, pretty much. Barry says, Brian is the one that needs to donate parts. 7 months with no running is no good. He doesn't need to donate parts. I mean, he's almost done now. I mean, he's almost done. It's just that, rather than being done in one day, he's been done over 7 months. Joe says, why don't you get your car sorted and MOT done by the garage down the road? Yeah. Keep Fred, get rid of Brian. Well, no chance. No chance. Brian's a nice car, Fred isn't. Can't complain about free labour. Absolutely, name me -1. I did say that earlier. You absolutely can't. I mean, in my defence, I would say that with all of my cars, I have said, look, can't I just pay a mechanic to come in and get them done? But apparently that doesn't seem to be possible. And the problem with Brian was that once the initial bit of work was done, he couldn't be moved, so I couldn't even shift him somewhere else to get him sorted. But yeah, going forward, they'll go. My cars will go down the road. It's not fair to burden Mustard with my personal cars that he doesn't earn a penny from. I mean, he's got his own cars. He's got the Mustard and Boaty cars. Really not fair to add mine in on top. I mean, I don't mind getting an MOT done, because the thing is that my garage down the road, they charge proper whack for an MOT. And at the yard garage, I get trade. So it's like half the price. Oh, Russ is here. Oh, well, obviously Russ is here. He sent me that lovely super chat. But hey all, says Russ. Hi Russ, how's your longest day? Shrimp on the barbie, says Cheeseburger. Oh, bless you. A good explanation on the socials, Boaty, says Andrew, but will you go as far as to go down the OnlyFans route? As some people know, I've already done similar. Now, OnlyFans isn't the only thing of that ilk. There are, I can't say too much. There is at least one other thing that I'm aware of, and it's like a cross between OnlyFans and Facebook community groups. So it works on a group basis, but you can put what the hell you want on there as per OnlyFans, and you can charge people to see it. And there may be some videos. I'm not gonna go into I think I might have told you that already. Did I? I can't remember. But yeah. I mean, I wouldn't do it now. I need to lose a stone before I would unveil my naked boatiness to the camera. But, if it's money that go towards my teeth, Hell yeah. Ross, we aren't jealous, says Cheeseburger. Block him, Boaty. Yes, come down south, says Joe. That would be fantastic. And the laughing Buddha was delicious. It was, actually. Might Boaty play the electric organ as part of Midnight Mass? God, I haven't had a play with my organ for ages. That'd upset the neighbour, wouldn't it? That's a live at lunchtime thing, playing with the organ. Oh, and might it be followed by a very late bedtime story, says Andrew. Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me. The Honourable Pigeon says you could get Neil to sort the lump out while he's fixing Brian. He seems a handy chap. No, it's not, Cheeseburger. Oh dear. Got to go, everyone. Shopping to do, says Ross. Have a great Christmas, everyone, and hopefully see you for a midnight Boaty Mass. We'll do that. We will do midnight Mass on Christmas Eve. I think that's a brilliant idea. I love that. We will definitely do that. And time has marched on and beaten us again, guys. So, yeah, start saying your goodbyes. It's gone midnight. The wine's kicking in. I've got supper to make. If Boaty went for a sex change, says Cheeseburger, he would look like Dame Fatima Whitbread. Is she a dame now? I like Fatima Whitbread. I've never met Fatima Whitbread, but she wrote an excellent autobiography, and what a hard life she had, and what a woman she is. I really, really admire her, and I would have loved to have had a go on her back in the day. So I wouldn't mind looking like Fatima Whitbread at all. Or Daniela Westbrook. That might be a problem. We need to club together and buy Mustard a second-hand two-post ramp, and stuff will happen a lot quicker. But I don't know that it would. I honestly don't know that it would, name me -1, because I love Mustard very, very much indeed. But it doesn't matter what you give him, he will go at his own pace, and he will do what interests him and what he wants to do. That's how he's ended up where he is. You know, he very much rows his own boat, and he and I are the same age. He's a little bit older than me, and at our age, you're bloody well entitled to. I'm no better or no worse than Mustard myself. You know, it's not like I'm fulfilling my potential in any way, shape, or form, and I don't give a shit. I'm doing what I can cope with and what makes me happy. And Mustard is doing exactly the same, but I'm genuinely not going to knock him for it. Now, if he and I were working together like 6 or 7 days a week and doing an equal share of everything that was involved, then it would be a different thing. But we're not. We're not. So I'm not going to put any pressure on him. Well, not that I could anyway. He'd tell me to fuck off. But it is what it is, and he'll do what he wants to do, and he'll do it at his own pace, and that's fine. That's the way that it is. I mean, he cares more about his videos than anything else, and that's where he would love his future to be, and it's going in the right direction. He's got an incredibly loyal fan base. His earnings have gone up a lot from when I first met him. He's not at a point yet where he could live off his YouTube earnings, but he's a damn sight closer to him than I am, or probably ever will be. So it's fine. It's fine. Occasionally, like with the 623, I get a little bit embarrassed or peeved when it was or is sold, and I can't make that happen. But hey ho, what can you do? On the 3rd of January, says John, it's a head scan and neck, probably a full body scan, and see if any clots are back. Fingers crossed nothing is bad. Absolutely. And everybody's sending all the best wishes to John. Portions no bigger than a handful. Bernard would be impressed. Yeah, Bernard, dear me. That was why I had a wobble on Monday. Bernard is apparently engaged. So that's nice. Best wishes to her and good luck to him. I thought you'd been a little bit quiet for a couple of weeks. Hey ho, there you go. Oh God, I've actually caught up. No, not X-Hamster. No, it's a specific groups thing, and I can't remember what it's called. It's designed for. It's exactly like a Facebook group setup, except that you can monetize it, and there are no community standards, so you can put filth on there. And we did. I split with my business partner for the same reason, says Cheeseburger. He was flogging me to death, but I had a financial target that I was achieving. No, Cheeseburger, definitely not engaged to me. I assume that she's engaged to the chap that when I last spoke to her, she'd split up with, who was not taking his medication and made her get rid of all of her furniture, so she dumped him. And he'd moved in with her because he was homeless. He'd been living with his brother. And well, anyway, that's somebody else's business that I shouldn't really talk about. It just, I mean, it's a weird thing, isn't it? I mean, and I know it works both ways. Bernard gets wobbled when I get into a relationship and she gets all jealous, right? And I admitted something to Mustard. No, I'm not going to admit that to you. I admitted it to Mustard. And I get jealous when Bernard gets into a new relationship. But the difference is that she will get jealous over me and suddenly come on full strength again. But then when it comes to it, she's not willing to be with me, whereas I would give anything to marry her. So there you go. It's all very weird, isn't it? Barry says, everyone have a good Christmas, and I will try to get on for one of the lives. So that is it for tonight, darlings. That is it. Give that like button a tickle before you go. Why not? That would make me happy. I've dropped down from 98.6 to 98.5 again. And your little like on that thing to get it up from 14 would be a big help. So thank you in advance for doing that before you sod off. If we don't meet again before, Merry Christmas to everyone. Thanks to Boaty for hosting all year. And remembering those that we have lost this year. That good shout, Cheeseburger. Well, we're going to do the midnight mass on Christmas Eve, and we will see you on Christmas Day together if you're free. I will do a long Christmas Day live on Christmas Day itself, and then we're going to effectively be back to normal. There will obviously be a New Year's Eve live. When's New Year's Eve? Oh, that's going to be a Sunday again, isn't it? And then New Year's Day on the Monday. So there'll probably be there'll be a short New Year's Eve live. Again, it'll probably be an hour, 11:30 till 12:30, to see the New Year in together. And then there'll be a long New Year's Day Eve live on the Monday. And then we can look back over the year and people that we've lost and friends that we've found and all of that sort of thing. Thank you, John. John's hit that like button. Yes, I've gone up to 16. I've gone from 14 to 16. That's wonderful. But for now, that is that. So thank you for being with me this week. And I won't thank you for the year yet. I'll do that on New Year's Eve. So where are we? Well, have a good weekend. Have a good run up to Christmas. I hope you survived the madness of the last minute present buying and all of that nonsense that fortunately I don't have to do. Or is it unfortunately? In a way, I wish I did have to do it, but there we are. And I will see you guys at 11:30 on Christmas Eve for the Reverend Boaty's Midnight Mass. That'll be fun, won't it? That will be a giggle. So have a safe and peaceful night, darlings. Take great care of yourselves. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. And remember, Facebook group and now WhatsApp group. Let me know if you want to be involved in that and I'll get you invited and chucked in. Thank you again to Ross for his very generous super chat, and thank you to Jimmy for your lovely contribution too. I really am grateful. It really does make a difference. Trust me. I'm not one of those people that pretend to be poor to get some money out of you. I'm genuinely poor. If I wasn't genuinely poor, I would be beaming at you with a Hollywood smile. All right, darlings, that is it. I will see you on Christmas Eve, half an hour before Christmas Day. So thank you. Much love from me and good night.